Namaste, one and all. Let me take this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Sandhya Haridas. I'm the manager of the India Tourism Kochi office, which is an office of the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India for the Kerala region and the Lakshadweep region. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, to brief you about this webinar series that we are hosting is themed around Ayurveda and wellness. And the idea to organize these series of webinars sprung from people's interest expressed internationally on Indian spices, cuisines, and its traditional systems of medicine, which has this belief that that is what has made Indians a more resilient community health-wise during this COVID-19 time, with a comparatively lesser death rate compared to many other places. It is this traditional knowledge of wellness that we feel will help benefit people across the world to adopt a healthier way of life, build immunity, recuperate from illness, and help in rejuvenation. Hence, we thought this would be an ideal time to launch this series to show what India has to offer, Kerala has to offer in terms of wellness and in Ayurvedic treatments. So today we have with us the Regional Director for the India Tourism Southern Region, Mr. Srivat Sanjay. I welcome you, sir, to this session. We also have with us Mr. Siddharth Dominic, the Chief Executive Officer for CGH Wellness. I welcome you, Mr. Siddharth. And we also have with us today's speaker, which would be Ms. Dr. Sijit Sridhar. He's the Chief Doctor of Prakriti Chikitsa, Clinic of Natural Medicine by CGH Earth. I welcome you, Doctor, to the series. So I would like to first invite Mr. Sanjay Srivat to speak a few words about this webinar series.
Hello, good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to this webinar series on Ayurveda and wellness. And first of all, a warm welcome to Mr. Siddharth Dominic from CGH Group, which is a well-known group, one of the pioneers from Kerala, who have set up a lot of resorts and a lot of hotels, which are unique in its own way. And Dr. Sijit Sridhar, who is a naturopath. And as we are all fighting this corona time, the whole world is looking towards India because wellness is something which everybody wants at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what you do in life, but you always look for wellness. And this is a unique product which combines wellness with tourism. So I think in the coming times, no matter how much tourism has suffered, in the God's own country, Kerala, this is going to be a hot destination because everybody would like to come, not only for rejuvenation, but also for adopting various ways to increase the immunity. And this webinar, I'm sure, is going to help a lot of people to gain insight into Ayurveda, what Kerala has to offer, and for self-knowledge also. And then as a tour operator, you can carry this message forward to all your clients, to all your other people who would love to visit India and especially this part of the country, Kerala. So I think let us move on to hear our speakers and a few words from Mr. Siddharth Dominic and then Dr. Sijit Sridhar, who is today's expert speaker, and he's a naturopath dealing with wellness. So I welcome all of you once again, and please carry it forward. Thank you so much. Mr. Siddharth,
yes,
please come forward.
Thank you, Srivat Sanjay. It is indeed an honor to be here in this webinar. I think together, all of us, we can share our ideas and thoughts and face this pandemic. With those opening remarks, I'm CEO CGH Earth Wellness. My name is Siddharth Dominic, and CGH Earth's journey into wellness started with from leisure, where we started operating Ayurveda centers attached to resorts, and there we discovered there was so much of interest and interest in Ayurveda that we started getting more involved and opened up hospitals, places which were focused on wellness. And we have 2 Ayurveda hospitals, one of which is Kalari Kovilakam, which is operated in Palghat, and the other is Kalari Rasayana. We operate in Kollam, again in Kerala. The third center, wellness center we operate is called Prakriti Shakti. It is a hospital, but focused on naturopathy as the system of healing. And a fourth wellness property we run is called Swaswara, which is a wellness resort. Now, what has the pandemic taught us? I think it is a realization that we all need to be healthy inherently. And it has really opened up that our dependence on allopathy and just to pop pills whenever we get sick is not a solution. We need to have the buzzword today is immunity. And how do we get immunity is not by popping pills. We need to understand that I think there is much more realization today that through, especially through our traditional systems of medicine, be it Ayurveda or naturopathy, one can enjoy a certain well-being and health. And I think there is much more appreciation. And though all of these are very much part of our Indian system, there is much more awareness and appreciation and receipt of these ideas today among our population and our people. And people are accepting these traditional sciences much more. So we have seen a huge demand of people inquiring when are these centers going to open. Of course, we have challenges currently with different lockdowns and the situation today and social distancing, physical distancing and all of that. And I believe that the minute these lockdowns are removed and people can travel, I think we are going to see a huge surge in wellness travel. There's going to be almost like a revenge travel into people seeking wellness through especially Kerala is at the forefront and the birth of many of these wellness systems. I think Kerala has the proud, and we have to take ownership to that position as the world leader in Ayurveda. And I would like to introduce our doctor from Prakriti Shakti, Dr. Sijit Sridhar, who has been with us for the last 3 years, ever since we came up with the concept of naturopathy as in a hospital in Panchali Made in Kerala, where he has always, I think over the last 3 years, we have really understood what naturopathy has been talking about is the human body is so magnificently built. It has the ability to heal itself, provided we create the right ambience and give it the environment and the time required. So all these knowledges, he really imparts this knowledge of wellness at Prakriti Shakti. And once again, a big thank you to everybody to give us this opportunity to share this. And we'd like to hear from everyone. Over to our speaker, Dr. Sijit.
1 second before that, thank you, Mr. Siddharth. I really totally agree with what you just said, that people are going to actually come back as a revenge travel, and they're just waiting up for these wellness centers to open up to come back and experience what Kerala has to offer. Just to give you a little bit more brief about Dr. Sijit before we go into the session. He's a Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yoga Sciences and Yoga Naturopathy graduate. He's experienced in holistic healing and lifestyle modification. He has over 13 years of experience as a naturopath, an academician, a clinician in many reputed institutions. He's also worked with the National Institute of Naturopathy, Department of Ayush, Government of India, and Amrita School of Ayurveda. He's also an internationally certified NLP practitioner, and this he incorporates mind modification modalities as a powerful tooling in healing. So now over to you, doctor. But before that, we just have to say a few house rules. So everybody has been muted. That is because we do not want any outside noises coming in the session. It is more going to be a kind of a Q&A where I'll be asking the questions and doctor will be responding it with some slides along with it. And you are free to please put in your questions that you have regarding the session or about naturopathy in the chat box. We will be addressing this towards the end of it. there will be a Q&A. And once the chat box questions are done with, we will open it live for any more additional questions. So Dr. Srijit, shall we start the session? Let me see, I think you're still muted, so maybe,
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So tell us, what is naturopathy? How and why is it different from other systems of medicine?
Okay. So to start with, naturopathy and yoga, or yoga and naturopathy, is one among the Ayush system, which is recognized by Government of India under the Department of Ayush. When you look into it, there are 5 different systems comes into Ayush. Each is classified or get the status of different system because each carry a different approach towards the concept of diseases. Each carry a different modalities which help to heal the persons with different kind of diseases, and its own diagnostic methods and its ability to cater the various needs, the health need of people. So naturopathy and yoga has a status of a standalone independent system. And why, how it makes different from any other system of medicine, not only any Ayurveda, in that case to any other system of medicine. So the basic concept of naturopathy is body can heal itself when a chance is given. So that sentence is important. Body can heal itself. We might have experienced that. Everyone might have experienced that in many times of life. Even though we might have recognized that, given that value which it needed, we know that when there is a wound, if the wound is getting healed by itself, most of the times without any medical aid. If a bone is broken, in midst of all the medical developments, body can heal the bone itself. We don't need any external aid other than some help to place it in the proper place. Body can heal itself. Or even you know that if you are sleeping with a common cold or a fever, next day morning you might have get rid of that without any help. So we might have experienced that in our daily life. But the question is this role is applicable for the serious, more fatal chronic diseases which we are experiencing? And the answer is yes. That is what naturopathy proved. Now that is what naturopathy practiced and preached in last many centuries. But many of us may think, even if that is truth, why we are not experienced that in our life? What is the need for us to seek the help of medicine, surgeries, and other medical aid? There, the importance of the second part comes when a chance is given. When we are getting a disease, unfortunately, most of us are not giving the chance for the body to heal itself. We have a tendency to seek the help of medicines, any sort of it is. It may be a chemical medicine or a herbal medicine or a diet medicine. Actually, it may not make any much difference. We seek the help and we don't give the chance to body itself. But the basic thumb rule, which everyone knows, but we fail to understand, that we are not getting any disease because we are not taking any medicines, right? We are not getting any disease because we didn't take any medicine. We are getting a disease because we didn't eat well, or we didn't sleep well, or we didn't do our activities well, or we didn't interact with our environment well, and we get a disease. And what we do, we are trying to reverse that with the help of a medicine. Is it logical? Just use your common sense and see, will it work? Even a disease is caused because of lack of sleep, will you think that a medicine can help? I'll just put with a simple example. If you don't sleep for 5 hours, the minimum of 5 hours, the minimum requirement is 8 hours. If you sleep less than 5 hours in a night, next day morning you check your BP, it will be more than normal for next 6 hours. And if you go to a doctor in that time, they will check your BP and they start giving you hypertensive medicine. See, you're getting a high BP because of lack of sleep, and you're trying to reverse that with a medicine. And for how much? And you know, most of the hypertensive medicine are for lifelong. And this, everyone understands this. Not only naturopathy, every system of medicine says that good food, good exercise, good rest is important to make you healthy. Then what is the difference in naturopathy? The difference in naturopathy is that every other system of medicine believes that if you're getting diseased, this good food or good exercise or good rest is not enough. You have to take a medicine along with that. There, naturopathy stands alone. Naturopathy says that if the deviation from this is making you diseased, coming back to this, bringing balance in the seven components. I will explain the 7 components in detail in coming. Hopefully, it has to be there in our interactions. So these 7 components to make you healthy. And if you're neglecting that, you are never you are going to get healed. You may get a feeling that you are healthy, but in this time you understood that controlling your diabetes or a hypertension or a renal problem with a medicine is not going to help you. When a bigger problem comes, your health will succumb down. You are facing a fatal situation. In this COVID time, this is very evident. Keeping yourself, the symptoms suppressed with the help of medicine is not going to work. The naturopathy is basically a system which believes in the body's heals on its basic principles, which says that consider the human body as a whole. Treat the root cause. Don't do any damage. That is very important, because we take it as granted that if you get indigestion because of taking a medicine for hypertension is okay. It's okay to take another medicine to treat the indigestion. And when you get a chronic renal problem because of these 2 medicines, we don't have any hesitation to take another medicine to treat our kidney. No, that's not okay. Your body cannot take that much toxic load. You are going to crumble down, knock down in a day. So don't do any damage for your body, and use the healing power of the nature. And it basically believes that prevention is better than cure. So that is the difference. Actually, naturopathy comes is it has a methodology to cater all the needs of basic prevention to healing and to improve the quality of life. You're muted.
Thank you. I think one of the examples that you quoted about sleep, lack of sleep and BP, is something I personally have experienced. I'm one person who lacks sleep a lot. So, but this BP thing is a quote. So can you quote something else? Like, how does healing actually happen in naturopathy? Like, this is one of the examples that you've quoted. So what are some of the other things that, through which healing happens? A little bit more elaborate on it.
So how healing happens? To understand healing, we should understand what is disease, because healing is always related with the disease. What is disease? For example, if a person getting a heart problem at the age of 60 or a 70, when the disease of the heart might have started, we have a good option to go to a cardiologist, put a stent or do a bypass. We think that everything is okay. But if you look back, when the problem might have started, a person, if he's getting a cardiac problem at the age of 70, it might have started 3 years back or 4 years back or 5 years back or 10 years back. The problem might have started some 20 years or 30 years back in a single cell in your heart. A single cell is not functioning properly. Then you continue the inputs which cause the damage to cell. From a single cell, it becomes a bunch of cells, which is known as tissues. We don't know. We are not experiencing any symptoms even at that time. After 10 or 15 years, it became a muscle. You are starting getting the trouble. When you climb, you are feeling a shortness of breath, but we ignore it. Again, after 20 years, we feel that our life is not able to keep ourselves active as before. Then we go and check what it happens, or the heart will give a sudden cry. This is how the disease happens. The disease starts in a single cell. Whatever it may be, it might not make any difference. It may be a problem in your heart, or in your liver, or in your kidney, or in your pancreas. Doesn't make any difference. Every disease starts in a single cell, which develops into a group of cells known as tissues, then affects your organ, then your organ system. Finally, it affects your entire body. So disease is basically a broken biochemistry of the cell. The cell is not working properly. So how you should heal it? How we can heal it? That is a question. To that, we should know why the cell become malfunctioning. What damages what leads to the broken biochemistry of the cell? A cell will become not functioning properly when the cell is not getting the proper raw materials for the function. 1. 2, when the cell is not getting the right environment for the function, it's optimum. 2. Third, when the metabolic debris or the toxins are not removed from the cells in the most suitable form. So this causes the disease. So what are the raw materials body the cell required? It is the food you eat, or the air you breathe, and or the sunlight you get from the environment, or the good water you drink. And what is the environment required? The proper rest you give, the proper blood supply and nervous supply, the hormonal balance should be right, and the body should be in accordance with your biological clock or the rhythm. Then the metabolic debris should be removed. So how you can be when the eliminative organs are working properly, the body can get rid of the toxic load. Along with that, if you don't load your body from toxin from outside in form of a toxic food or a medicine, the cell function properly and the healing happens. In naturopathy, this is brought in with the help of 7 basic building blocks. In Prakriti Shakti, we give a short form for everyone can take it back and remember. We call it as drummer. What is that? The drummer stands, which each word, the D, start for diet, the food we eat. Then what? D, R is rest and relaxation. E, exercise. M, mind. D, R, E, M, M. There is another M which most of us neglected is microbes, the germs. Now we are doing this webinar because of a microbe, right? A germ, but it plays a very important role in maintaining your health. Next E is environment which you are living, which you are interacting, and final R is the rhythm, how you are living. The healing happens when you are able to bring back balance in the 7 building blocks. And when a person come to any naturopathy hospital, it's not only in Prakriti Shakti, what we are doing is helping you to identify how to bring balance in you. And in Prakriti Shakti, we give enough knowledge and holding for them to take it back also. The healing is basically brought by helping you eat right food, a therapeutic healing food which you are lacking in your daily life, and giving the ample rest and relaxation. You need rest, sleep is required, but if you are trying to reverse a disease, a more rest is required, something like giving a vehicle for a service. We are giving a complete rest in form of fasting and other healing methods and relaxations in yoga. And exercise component is brought in with the help of yoga therapy. Then mind, we have different mind healing techniques. Microbes the microbes are your gut bacteria, your gut health is mainly in the help of fiber rich foods. Then environment, that if you see the environment we have at Prakriti Shakti, it's amazing. So we have the good sunlight, good water, good air there, which help you to bring in the healing in you. And we help you to go back with the biological rhythm, a daily schedule which you can copy in your life. So healing happens in naturopathy with the help of the environment, the best doctors which are available, which are free, and we have failed to utilize it. When you come to a naturopathy hospital, naturopathy clinic, actually we are getting an opportunity to get healed with the help of the best doctors.
Thank you, doctor. That was quite informative. So coming to food, you talked about the importance of food. So there's a well-known saying that let food be the medicine. So what does this really mean in naturopathy? Since you said about food and its significance, yeah.
It's a very important question. Again, very important question at this COVID times. Because if you go to the WHO website, you can see a myth boost is there which says that pepper cannot heal COVID or clove cannot heal COVID. They're mentioning it there. Why it happens? Because in this time, people are looking for diet pills. What is that?
Yes.
I got many inquiries, even personally with my friends and relatives or from patients asking that what we should eat to prevent COVID, to fight with COVID. And the answer is you should eat everything healthy. Because people misread the sentence, food, let the food be the medicine. People are trying to replace the medicine they are having with the help of a food. Example, for again, I can quote with the help of example. If you're getting an indigestion, a ginger may help you to get rid of that. In that case, you might be reducing the intake of an antacid with the help of a ginger. But the basic thing there which one should understand is you're not getting any indigestion because you didn't had a ginger. The indigestion again might have caused by the wrong food or a heavy food or again a stress might have caused it. When you're trying to replace a food, a disease with the help of a herbal applications, you are again you're getting the communication of the body in a wrong way. Let the food be the medicine means the food what you're eating should be healing. A food which you eat should not bite you back. That is a real understanding one should get. We all of us eat to become healthy, but unfortunately we all are getting diseased because of the food we eat. The diabetes we are getting because of the food we eat. We become obese because of the food we eat. We get a cardiac problem because of the food we eat, because we are not eating healthy and we are trying to replace that with a diet pill which never works. So food being the medicine means a food which you eat should be enjoyable for your senses as well as your body. If you eat a decoction, if you take a decoction, you know that most of the people get a vomiting when you drink a decoction. Why? Because a bitter decoction, because body is not able to enjoy the food. So in Prakriti Shakti, again in naturopathy, in Prakriti Shakti, we say eat your food with your senses. If your food should be healing, you should be able to eat with your senses. A food, you should be able to enjoy the food the moment you hear about the food. You should be able to get the ability to digest the food the moment the smell comes. You should feel pleasant when you touch the food. And finally, the taste comes, it should be palatable when you eat. A food becomes medicine when you enjoy the food with your five senses. Not only this, the food plays a very important role in deciding many of the disease we have. That we know that a diabetes or a hypertension or a chronic kidney diseases or a osteoporosis have a root in the diet in our diet we eat. But most of us fail to understand and get a holistic idea into how it causes. In naturopathy, there is a concept known as acidic food and alkaline food. What does that mean? Most of the people think that acidic food is a food which contains acid in it, which is wrong. People think that lime is acidic food. No. Lime is an alkaline food because the end product of a digestion of a lime are bicarbonates, which are alkaline in nature. And we know that when you eat a non-vegetarian food, the end product is a uric acid, which is acidic in nature. And this acidic and alkalinity of the food plays a very important role in getting lifestyle disorders, which is actually ignored. I will explain. I'll take a few minutes, but I'll explain how it is. Imagine you are eating more acidic food. What happens? The acidity, the end metabolic acidosis will happen. The end products are more acidic in nature, which tends to change the acidic, make your body more acidic, which our body cannot afford. When there is more acidity in the blood, which may change the nature of our blood, which body cannot afford at any cost. Body want to maintain the neutral nature. The pH of our blood is 7.4, which is something equal to water. When you eat more acidic food, the blood becomes acidic and our life is in danger, which our body never wants, because our body loves us so much. It never give up. It always wants us to survive. But we don't understand that. We trouble our body with the way we live. But body never give up. The blood, when we eat more acidic food, our body will take the help of our bones, because bones have an abundant source of alkaline substance known as bicarbonates. This is present in our bone in form of calcium bicarbonates. I'm just putting an example how the food make you healed and diseased. But when the body demands the help the bone releases the bicarbonates in form of mineral bicarbonates, which is known as calcium bicarbonates. So the calcium bicarbonates will move from the bone to the blood, which helps the blood to maintain the alkalinity or the pH. What happens to a bone? The bone loses the calcium. You end up in having weakened bone known as osteoporosis. The porosis in the bone will become weak. What we do? We go to a doctor, we take a calcium supplement. See, you got a osteoporosis not because you don't have calcium in your food, because there is acidity in the food leads to osteoporosis. And when this calcium bicarbonates move to the blood, the story never ends there. To our blood, the bicarbonates will be used by the blood, and the calcium, blood didn't ask for it. Blood will go and deposit it somewhere. And which is the soft target? Your kidney. You will have a renal stones. See, you same time you are facing a problem with osteoporosis because of lack of calcium in the bones, and you are getting a renal stones because of the excess calcium in the blood. What happens? It damages your kidney. And along with the stones, the acidic nature of the blood forces the kidney to produce more ammonia, which further damages the kidney. You end up in chronic kidney damages. The dialysis units are popping up in every part of the world because of the kidney damages. All this makes your blood toxic, the inflammation goes up, insulin resistance set in your body, you end up in having in diabetes mellitus or Alzheimer's or PCOD for young women. See how a disease is started from the same course of a wrong food, and the right food will help you to reverse it. What is right food? Naturopathy says the right food is fresh, live, wholesome, rainbow food. You don't have to worry about science of the food. We never eat science, we eat food. Make sure the food you eat is live, it has life in it. What is the difference between a live food and a dead food? I'll just put a very small example. You take 6 tomatoes from your garden, if you have a garden. You keep 3 tomatoes in your table and make a curry out of next 3 tomatoes. What happens next day if you keep the curry and the tomatoes in the table? The curry will get spoiling the next day morning within 12 hours, but the fresh tomatoes, the tomatoes will remain fresh. That is a difference a life can make. How a dead food which can get spoiled in 12 hours can make you healthy. A live food can bring life to your cells. In Prakriti Shakti, we give a lot of importance to raw food. A raw, tasty food. It is not just giving some salads. We make you people to eat with the senses. I repeat that. But live food, fresh food, wholesome food. Don't take anything away from the food. Don't add chemicals and preservatives to the food, and make sure the food is rainbow, colorful. Take it from me. If your food have colors, you don't have to worry about the science. Enjoy the food with your sight. Eat each color is a nutrition. Make your food colorful naturally, not by adding some artificial colors. That's the best way to consider the food as your medicine. Don't misread that replacing your medicines with a diet pill. It's never going to last long.
Thank you, doctor. Actually, the question about the taste of food. When it comes to natural foods, everybody says it's pretty bland. How do you have it? You know, we have this tendency to have a taste with everything that comes. So, but some of the pictures that showed really looked like really tasty food when it's naturopathic food that is being shown. So how do you kind of make it more tastier for people to, incorporate in their diet?
Okay, that actually you may need some practice to do that, because we are so much misled by making food tasty in artificial ways. I'll share that I think it's
maybe an example of
like we had a few patients, around 6 patients there in Prakriti Shakti last month. They are staying in Kerala, but they are from other part of India. And in the end of they stay there, on the day of discharge, we provide them sadhya. From people from outside Kerala, sadhya is a traditional meal in Kerala where we give various colors of food ingredient, and they had sadhya previously in Kerala, which is normal Kerala sadhya. But there we provide them the same sadhya in a raw form. And they said that this is the best sadhya we had. It is more tastier than the normal sadhya. Because when you provide food in a natural, fresh form, we easily get adapted with that. For example, if you imagine if you keep a piece of apple and a piece of ginger or some root here, what you'll opt? You may go and eat apple because that the food when it natural form attracts you. So we know what we should eat. When the food is provided in the best form, our body can easily understand it, and if you feel the taste, but our taste buds are completely destroyed by eating this artificial unnatural food. You need a time to get the taste back and body to get the communication with the body in the right sense. That you get when you get admitted or when you spend some few days in naturopathy hospital. We say when people come for 7 days, we say that these 7 days may not be enough to make changes in your body, but this is good enough to make changes in your life.
Okay.
Because you learn the things how to change your life forever, how to get understanding and the taste, the communication of the body in a better way.
My next question was actually coming on to that. So many people believe that lifestyle modifications are like good to preach, but it's tough to practice. So what's your take on it? How can we adopt, how is it like able to practice it?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because whatever which I say in the basic thing, like a good food or a good exercise or a good rest is a must to maintain health. Nothing new in that. Everyone knows this. Those who even don't practice it knows it, because most of the people don't practice it because they think that we cannot do it. They get such idea because when they are trying to fit into a fit for all lifestyle programs, it never works. Your life is unique. Your body is unique. Your professions, your family, everything plays an important role in maintaining a good lifestyle. If you try to fit into someone else's lifestyle, someone else's diet, it never works. That's why we say when people come to Prakriti Shakti, we say it is a life hand-holding program. We understand, we make them to understand where things goes wrong, and we help them to identify where they can correct it. In the day of discharge, I say to them that is an exam day for you. It's an exit exam for them, because they learn many things there. Then they have to make a program themselves with the help of us, which they can take back and cope in their life. A lifestyle program, when you try to adopt a lifestyle changing program, it should be always customized, understanding your need. I'll come with an example. Like if you look into the diabetes, you know that diet plays an important role in diabetes. But many people who eat healthy make a diabetes because of stress in their work. If I give a diet change program, their diabetes never going to change. They need some stress management program or attitude change program to manage the stress. A lifestyle program will work only when it becomes individual and custom made. That's a one thing. Next thing, we all say there is no gain without a pain, and people don't want to get pain. So when you make a lifestyle change program, what is the program we adopt is micro behavioral changes. We are not trying to change everything at once. It should be small but efficient steps. For example, if you're a person who not able to sleep on the right time because of the excess use of your mobile phones, if I say you don't use mobile phone the next day, it's never going to work. You may listen, but you're not going to adapt. But if I say you to stop the usage of mobile phone by night 9 o'clock, or even you don't stop the 9 o'clock, you put an alarm at your phone at 9 o'clock, which remember that, oh, this is the time. You're learning something which your body adopts. If I say you to completely shift to healthy food from tomorrow, it may be difficult for you. But if I ask you to add a salad along with your dinner, it may work for you. If you are a person who eat at night 11 o'clock, if I ask you to eat your dinner by 9 o'clock, you may put an effort. So every time when you look for a lifestyle changing program, should be always, one, it should be custom made, two, it should be small micro behavior changes which you can incorporate in your life. Otherwise, it is going to be fail.
Okay, so I think in that perspective itself, my next question was coming to everybody has a busy daily routine, work, school, college, whatever. So how is it possible to incorporate naturopathy in your daily life? So one of the examples, like you just said about mobile use is something that's almost impossible for people to switch off their phones by 9 o'clock, and it's a lifestyle change, a behavior change that's required. So something like this on a daily routine, is it possible to kind of incorporate some changes? What more can you add to that?
Like, what are the things you should do to make you healthy? That's a one thing we should understand in a holistic way, in a complete perspective. It is not simply changing a diet. As I said earlier, if you make small changes in all the aspect, when it comes together, you're going to become more healthy. If you, like, again, I'll take the example of a sleep. We have a common belief that we should sleep early and wake up early, and for most of the people, it's not going to work.
True.
Because we simply are not that kind of person who sleep early. We have a habit of sleeping late and wake up late. If you're asking a person to go to bed by 9 o'clock, it may not work. Then I should understand what is his nature. For that, naturopathy take the help of the evolution and your genetics. Is it true that everyone should wake up early, sleep early and wake up early? Naturopathy says no. Because there is a survival reason for that. Because humans are designed to live as a tribe, as a society, sleep as a tribe. And if you imagine, if everyone sleep together, our chance of getting attacked by enemies, if you're a tribe in a forest, getting attacked with a lion or a tiger is more. So we are genetically designed that few people sleep early and wake up early, and another half will sleep late and wake up late. It's there in our genetics. If you're trying to change that, you're not going to stick it. So we help them to identify what is their nature, what make them to sleep late, then change it accordingly. And again, another reason which make people to sleep late is the coffee.
Yes.
Everyone likes coffee. But the moment you drink a coffee, you're making a big trouble to your body by interfering in your sleep pattern. And as you asked, I will explain how it is. The caffeine in the coffee will mimic your sleep chemicals. When you drink a coffee, the caffeine goes in your blood and give a signal to the blood that sleep chemicals are there, which body don't produce further then. But this caffeine are only structurally similar to the sleep chemicals, not functionally similar. It don't work, it only looks. So when there is caffeine more in the blood, the body cannot get into sleep because of lack of the supporting sleep chemicals. And when you drink this coffee regularly, the body, which is lazy, will stop producing sleep chemicals. You end up in insomnia. You start taking medicines for getting sleep pills. So a lifestyle behavior change modification will help you identify this where it goes wrong. If you're a person addicted to coffee, okay, drink in the morning, so the impact will be in the less. Don't drink coffee in the afternoon, so that you get a better sleep. So everything plays. Again, another important thing which many people neglect is the role of environment in this. A recent study, again, I'll quote the help of a COVID, which says that in Italy, where COVID have made a big damage, 96% of the people who died are lacking vitamin D, which you can get with help of a sun exposure. We neglect that. And those who survived, most of the people had good amount of vitamin D in their blood. So getting healthy requires a holistic concept. It makes everything is important. When you expose your body to fresh air, it contains negative ions, which helps to reduce the damage because of the free radicals. So getting healthy Changing the lifestyle with very simple and effective steps are required, not some sudden shocks or jerks given to your body.
Thank you. Coming to that, like you said about the, the requirement of sunlight and how such a simple thing could have actually helped a lot more people. So, I mean, given that everybody's concerned about COVID-19 and how it's going to affect, or, is there some way in naturopathy for immunity building? Because immunity building is the talk of the day, and everybody is like looking for ways to build it. So I think, that it would be of very importance to kind of know how naturopathy can be incorporated in immunity building.
Okay, immunity building. There are two things there. Basically, what the say of naturopathy in COVID and how the immunity can be built. Again, I'll start with again quoting sleep. Anyway, somehow we are again coming back to sleep. If you don't sleep for 4 hours at night, the next day there will be a 70% drop in your natural killing cells. What is that natural killing cells? The army in your body which kills the pathogens naturally. And what is immunity? Immunity is the ability to kill the pathogens comes to your body. And how your immunity can be boosted if your immune cells are not there. So there the importance of a body comes. When you apply this to the COVID, you should really have a bigger knowledge what an infectious disease is. COVID is an infectious disease, as everyone knows. If you look into the WHO concept, what WHO says an infectious disease is that if one person has to get an infectious disease, not only COVID, any kind of infectious disease, 3 factors has to come together. 1, the agent. 2, environment. 3, the host or the human body. Only when these 3 comes together, the disease happens. The COVID, the environment which supports the growth of COVID, and a body which supports the disease. Only then you get a disease. What we are doing now to fight against COVID? We are helpless. We don't have anything to tackle the agent. In other infectious disease, we believe that, I quote, we believe that we have a medicine. We have a vaccine which helps to tackle the agent. Here, nothing we have to do with the agent other than washing your hand with a soap solution or sanitizer. Then what we are trying to do? We are trying to change the environment not favorable for the growth of COVID by maintaining a physical distance or putting a lockdown. This is the weapons we have, or wearing a mask. We are trying to make the environment not suitable for the growth of COVID. But we completely neglected the most important factor, our body. Are we doing something make our body, the host, not suitable for the growth of virus? In naturopathy, we say it's a soil seed theory. How good the soil, how powerful the soil may be, the seed may be, it cannot grow the soil if the soil is not supportive for the growth. How powerful the virus load may be, you cannot get infected with COVID if your body is not supportive for the growth of the COVID. But we completely neglect that. We must have used this lockdown period to make every person healthy, but we didn't do, unfortunately. There the role of naturopathy comes. COVID, the death happens in COVID, not because of virus, everyone knows that. It is because of the inflammations which bring up the comorbidities, which is basically inflammation in the body. The diet makes the inflammation goes up. What is inflammation? Inflammation is the fire in your body, which completely burns you out if it is not under your control. And we put oil to the inflammation by eating unhealthy food, eating more carbohydrate-rich food. Carbohydrate adds up to the inflammation. We add up to the inflammation by not sleeping. We add up the inflammation by making our body more stressed. And how you can take it granted that body can fight against infection when the soil is fertile for the growth of infection. There the role of naturopathy comes. Naturopathy have very effective methodologies which help to make your body healthy. If you are healthy, you don't have to worry whether you get exposed. I don't say that you have to go and get exposed with COVID, but if you get exposed, you don't have to worry if you are able to maintain healthy. And that is well proven now with a society which says that more than 60% are asymptomatic. What does that mean? Their body have the power which control the manifestation of the symptoms. They are not getting affected with the COVID. Everyone can, not only 70%, 100% people can do it if you take the naturopathy ways or simple lifestyle healthy modalities to make the soil not fertile for the growth of the seed.
Thank you, doctor. It was very informative. So I think because we have less than 8 minutes now, but I think we can still, if there's questions and people are okay to sit for 5 more minutes, we can have a little bit more questions. So I'll go on to the questions that we have from our viewers today. So the first question is, if a person is not interested in doing any particular normal job or would like to find alternate reason, is he or she eligible for this naturopathy treatment, say healing? So
not interested in doing normal job means?
that is what I was also a little concerned about, what the person is intending to mean. Maybe that he's not daily active in his life, or probably is that like not having a regular job kind of a thing. But I really still couldn't understand exactly what the person is intending to say. Maybe can we unmute Nalini Poduwal, because she has asked this question. So
she's on unmute. She can.
Okay, thank you, Sandhya. Say, I have a person who does not want to do the regular routine job, finds very, very lazy, even to the extent sometimes even to take bath or even to do anything kind of a grown-up boy. So he's a diabetic, of course. Now I have taken a lot of treatments, even taken him to psychiatrist and all, but nothing could heal up. And finally I taken him to wellness center. They said there's a deficiency of zinc, but he doesn't want to go for the zinc. And he took some medicines, he doesn't want to take the medicines. So anything that if I could fetch him the naturopathy for long number of days or months, would that change? Absolutely.
Okay. How is my body language now?
He's good, excellent. He's a.
But if I sit like this, if I sit like
body
this,
language, if you say, as I said, he shows laziness for anything and everything.
Okay. See, what you explained about him is typically something like a status of depression, which he's not interested to look forward in his life. Is basically a disease condition or a condition of the mind which has to be changed, which can be done very well by changing the attitude towards life. A mind healing is required because many of their experience in their life leads to this kind of stages. Again, I'll take an example. Like we had a patient from US. He said that I am anxious. He's 25 years age. His age was 25 and said, I have anxiety. I'm anxious every time. And we start working on the mind. I think introduction, it was said that I have an international NLP practitioner. So we have different tools to deal with the mind. So when I looking into the root cause why he did that, it is interesting to know that the problem of anxiety started for him at the age of fifth age, on his first day to his school. When he went to school and first day, the teacher asked him to bring a set of pencil. He came back to the home and said to his parents that he needs some pencil, new pencil, but they ignored it. They were busy in their work. They didn't provide it. Next day, he went to the school with the anxiety that how I will face the teacher. And it is quite amazing to understand that he carried the anxiety lifelong. Whenever he meet a new situation, this anxiety pops up. He was not knowing the root. When the mind is getting rid of that memory of the school, he was able to get rid of that experience forever. This depression is the same, another side of the same coin. There is something which caused him to go this mood. His body language, his nutrition deficiencies, his old memories, experience, beliefs, and values, which can be changed by the modality of body and mind healing. There's actually the role of body mind healing comes. It may not be only zinc. The zinc, along with the attitude, along with his experience has to be changed to help him to get rid of that. We had many patients who came there with such of change, and we are able to help them.
So how do we approach? How does he approach?
You can come to our website and take and we are providing the online consultation also. Because of time, you can get into a consultation, and when you can even come to a hospital.
Do you have the phone number and the address in the website? Or?
Yes, you can get the
website I should look into.
We can also maybe just show a slide. Shailendran is there online. He can just maybe show the contact information at the end.
That would be better. Fine.
Okay, so Nalini had just one more question also. Having an empty stomach, boiled water of ginger, coriander, turmeric, pepper, clove, lime, honey. Would this make good for senior citizens? Daily, also give immunity to COVID. So this will be the second question from her, and we'll have to move to the next as quickly. So Doctor, if you could just address this.
All the things are good, but if you are taking this as a replacement for a bad lifestyle, it's not going to help you. As I said, if you're having a bad sleep and thinking that a ginger and clove help you to get a good immunity, no, it's not going to work. Otherwise, it is good as the ingredients are good ingredients, but it is not a replacement for a holistic healthy lifestyle. And if you have a holistic healthy lifestyle, there's no need of taking this in a empty stomach. That is what I say.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So the next question we have is actually it's more of, I would say, a recommendation that the information is invaluable. However, how do tourism operators explain this simply and secondly to people unfamiliar with Ayurveda? So I think this question goes out to the tour operators who are hearing this. I recommend all of you to promote wellness and Ayurveda and put this message across to your clients, to agents on our traditional systems of medicine. So, but because this is not something that a doctor can answer on how it can be marketed and information can be sent out, but definitely you can visit the website. And of course, Kerala has a system of accreditation of Ayurveda centers and wellness centers also, and maybe find those information also. Next question that we are going to, there is a myth that when the weather is cold, we need to have hot food, but naturopathy means no cooking. So which time is it good to visit Prakriti Shakti on your view? So there are two parts to this question. One is the weather aspect of, cold weather, and then naturopathy being no cooking. So this is from Swami from Dravidian Trails.
First of all, naturopathy is not that it's against cooked food. So it only means that naturopathy is more supportive of raw food. Doesn't mean that we ask people to completely stop the cooked food. In Prakriti Shakti also, we provide cooked food when the psychology or physiology or pathology of the patient demands it. We are basically provide raw food, but when the environment, as he mentioned, rightly mentioned, the environment is not supportive, we provide them hot soups. We provide, or if pathologically, if person is, for example, if a person is have an ulcerative colitis, the intestine may get irritated when you eat raw food, we provide them cooked food. So it is, as I repeatedly say, every program, I think it is not only in Prakriti Shakti, in all the naturopathy places it's supposed to be, it is individual, highly customized. The program is based on the mental, physical need of the patient. And best climate is any time when you need a healing, when you need a rejuvenation, when you need a service, it is you can take the help of any healing programs. But we have a good sun at our summer, and we have good rains at monsoon. Everything is at the best like 2 years back, that there was a heavy rain in 2018 where the flood happens in Kerala. We had a Russian person in our property. We asked them that it is getting heavily rained, so how you feel? He said that this is what I need. It's something like everything inside me is pouring out. So it's always how you take it. If you need a good sun, come in summer. If you have a good rain, come in monsoon. If you need a good wind, come in January, December. There are places we have very good form of wind there. So it's all how you take it.
Okay. So the next question is from Vivek Angra, which is what damage is done by alcohol? So I don't know if there's a naturopathy perspective to it, but is there something you'd like to answer to that?
I think what damage is not done by alcohol?
That, yeah. That is the question, which is a very generic question. So I don't know. I mean, maybe how naturopathy can
So everyone knows that
heal it. Everybody
everyone
knows how alcohol is damaging, and still everybody has
everyone
it.
knows
So
that alcohol is damaging for your liver, but I'll say another aspect of it. And alcohol is damaging because it destroys the good bacteria in you. When the bacteria are not good, it make you to eat more carbohydrate, which initiate the metabolic syndrome in you. When you are under the influence of alcohol, your intellectual logical brain node works, the emotional brain comes out, and you eat more junk food. Your when you are under the influence of alcohol, your relationship and social interactions will go negative, which adds stress in you. So other than the physical problem, alcohol add up many things.
okay, so thank you. There's one question. I don't know how, but this seems like a very generic question from Sudha. It says, "Is there any food for height increase in young children?"
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, many people believe that height is genetic in nature, as genetic plays a very important role in your height. But same way, if you give a good nutrition for a plant, it bigs better. And when you have a good nutrition for your child, you have good height. But don't go behind junk food. We in India, I think there is an ad that when you give a health drink, your child grow twice faster than normal. And our parents give that to a child without even thinking that why should a child grow twice than a normal child? How he looks like when it grow twice faster. The increasing height is good, but not by providing junk food. You give them nutrition dense food, not by in form of some supplements or capsules, not in form of some processed food. Just give them colorful food, which give them natural food, which body get enough nutrition, and he will get the height or weight which is best good for his physique and his need.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is from Mala, asking how much vitamin D3 is needed and how often? Is it preferred in liquid form or sachet?
I don't support any intake of supplements other than when it is critically required or when you are undergoing some acute shortage of nutrition. And I believe a nutritional supplement never can replace the nutrition in natural form. So vitamin D is which need a more than 30,000 international unit, which you can easily get if you expose your body 2 to 3 minutes in a week between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I believe that I made a controversial statement here because most of the people think that you should not expose your sun during midnight. I say 2 to 3 minutes between 12 to 1. Once in a week, the body can get a vitamin D for a week. That is enough. And if you expose to morning sun and evening sun, it comes with good benefits. It have good benefits in your system, in your biological clock. But vitamin D body can make effectively when you get exposed to intense sunlight. So we have different type of treatments there. Something like if you come to Prakriti Chikitsa, we have a treatment known as banana leaf bath, where you'll be rubbed with honey, packed with a banana leaf, and made in the sunlight to sweat, where you get exposed to sunlight. But it got many other benefits also, because we live in a world where we sleep in the AC, we travel in the AC, and we work in the AC, where one of the most important mechanism, the thermoregulatory mechanism, is completely compromised. We make you to come sweat naturally. You may not believe that even though we have different type of massages there, this is one of the treatment which people ask repeatedly. I need it more, because they found it more interesting than a massage. So we have treatments when come to Prakriti Chikitsa, something like banana leaf bath and mud bath, which make you to expose to sun. But in a normal living, make sure that you expose to good sunlight at least once in a week.
And the next question is from Renuka. She's asked, a young person in mid-20s has hypothyroid in early stage. Is it possible to correct this condition through naturopathy?
that I need I may need a personal consultation. What caused him that hypothyroidism? Because getting a hypothyroidism at a young age is not that common. Then I need a person that I said root cause has to be treated. A hypothyroidism may be because of lack of thyroid. For 10 people, it may be because of 10 reasons. One person may get a lack of nutrition. One person may cause because of genetical reason. Another person may because they exposed to a dangerous chemical or a radiation. So I need a personal consultation. But in general, we have cases. Yes, thyroid is a difficult condition to treat. It is not that easy like treating a diabetes or hypertension. Yes, it's not that easy like reversing a diabetes or a hypertension or a cardiac problem. But if you go for a lifestyle modification program for a longer time, understanding the reason, we are getting good results, but not as good as other conditions.
Okay, so this is next is about I think about your wellness center from Joseph Anthony, which says about Indian clients. Are you taking them? Because visa, he's quoted about the visa formalities and all. So, is the center open or?
Yes, we are open. We already had patients last month, but now we are more taking from Kerala, not because of our reasons, because of government regulations and difficulty in travel. We are taking currently people from Kerala, but when the government regulations are fine, we are open to. I think we have other people also here like Shailendran and everything who can answer that better, but that's the general status of that.
Okay, so then we still have a lot of questions. So if it's okay with everybody, we'll still take the questions that we have in the chat box. So I don't think that we would have a time for live session. So the next question is from Sushila, which says how to shake off lethargy.
Shake off lethargy. One, the need from inside to shake off it. Then what caused it? Again, it because of the beliefs and experiences which came. Why the lethargy comes? Again, a lack of sleep can cause lethargy. A lack of nutrition can cause lethargy. And I had a patient who said that came there and said that I will commit suicide. I said why? Because my twin brother committed suicide last year. So what? We are genetically we share the same genetics, so I also supposed to commit suicide. This is how the beliefs make a people to do something. That's why I share that example. That beliefs have to change. And what caused the lethargy? Again, that need an individual consultation to identify, but this can be changed. Lethargy can be this lethargy, lack of interest in doing things, depression, everything is actually comes under the same headings, can be changed, reversed, and make the life better.
Okay, the next question is actually, but what will a guest look forward to in Ayurveda program post-COVID? So, I mean, it's not an Ayurveda program that you're running, but so I think it would mean the same thing in the sense of naturopathy program. What will a guest look forward to in Ayurveda program post-COVID? What I mean, it must be something like.
The question is very important.
Yes. What kind of? Oh, yes.
Because most of us believed that taking a medicine is enough to keep us going, which the beliefs has completely shaken now. Controlling a diabetes or a hypertension or a cardiac problem or a renal problem without the medicine is not going to help you anymore, because that medicine is not effective against a COVID. Only maintaining your health in a holistic way is the way, the new rule of post-COVID era, which can be attained only by holistic method of healing. Ayurveda have its own way, naturopathy have our own way, but everything works, which it's prefer on what you like. If you prefer, that is different, but it have an important major role, because we facing a world that symptomatic treatments are not making you to make a life promising. So it have a lot of scope and lot of offering in the post new normal, in the post COVID era.
That was from Mr. Krishnan. And then from Mr. Vivek Angra, we have a question. There are a lot of risks involved in having raw foods. What is the best way to clean the raw food in view of the fact that a lot of pesticides are used to grow them? Which I think is a very relevant question.
Why this question didn't come up?
Yes, it's a very relevant question. And all of us have this concern about, pesticide use, and we're trying as much as to use organic, but then organic comes at a much higher price. So I think it's a very relevant question. Doctor, please.
So these questions have two aspects. One is the political aspect of it. Getting an organic, chemical-free thing had a need a change in a political way with the world, with the way we cultivate and we look into the food. But the answer to this is what we are eating instead of raw food. We are eating cooked food. is it devoid of any kind of the pesticides in that? Cooking or any such process are not removing any chemicals or pesticide from the food. The meat we are eating are loaded with hormone treatments, which change our biochemistry completely. So there are many ways which you use. One is adopting eating organic food. Another thing is different type of washings and other things which help to the food chemical free. But the main thing is the food we are eating now instead of raw food is not helping you anyway. We are worried about a chemical in a raw food. For example, if it is chemically loaded, there may be 200 or 300 chemicals. But when you eat a cooked processed food, which goes in your body, get deposited in your fat and making 2000 chemicals in a day, that your tummy is making, the fat in your tummy is making 2000 chemicals in a day, which mimics all the normal chemicals and changes the balance. And you're getting worried about the 200 chemicals in an apple. I'm not saying that don't worry about that, but there is no, that eating a cooked food is not an answer for avoiding the chemicals in a raw food. You should go for organic food, you should go for homegrown foods, we should change our mindset. But eating cooked food instead of that is not the way out, which will make you more diseased. I'm not saying about normal cooked food, the processed food. We worried about the chemicals in a raw food and we eat a processed food. This what's fun in that.
Okay, so the next question is from Sajesh Pillai. It says, one of the very common issues is gastric ailments. Can you suggest a few tips to correct issues like acidity, gas?
Basically, I repeat this point every time. Like there is no that simple home remedies or shortcuts to what cause the acidity has to be identified. What causes acidity to that person? Is the acidity because of the stress-induced acidity, or it is associated with the timing of the food we eat, or is it associated with the type of food we eat? Is it associated with the lack of sleep? Is it like a person have a sedentary lifestyle which is not moving out of chair? So we have to identify that and correct that. Acidity can be corrected. We had many conditions where acidity which lasts for 20 years was changed within 3 to 4 days. It is possible because what is acidity? It is a high amount of acid, high stimulation of the nervous system. The nervous system has to be pacified and calmed down, which can be done very effectively by natural living, but the reason for that has to be identified.
Okay, so the next question is from Cyril Francis, which is, can we treat diabetic and thyroid problems?
Diabetes, yes, very much, very effective. Thyroid, I already answered about thyroid.
Yes.
Diabetes, I think that need a bit mention because I don't know, can I take more time, but it may take 2-3 minutes.
I think because this was a session that we have so many questions. In the first webinar, we didn't have this many, but I think it would make sense even if a few people left. I think people are still waiting and online to listen to the answers. So I think we should still continue with the questions.
Okay, diabetes is a very important thing to be explained. That's why I asked, because what we know about diabetes, we think that diabetes is increased blood in our increased sugar in our blood, and we think that it is because of insulin. Our pancreas is not working properly, but what is happening in reality in diabetes has to be understood. Actually, I say the increased glucose or the malfunction of pancreas in diabetes are not the culprit, they are the victim of your diabetes. Because imagine, I'll explain with the help of something like, imagine this is your cell where your glucose has to go inside and makes your blood, the cell to work properly. For this glucose to go inside, a door has to be opened. Something like you enter a room, like an office with a security, tight security. You have to show your ID card if you get into your office. Same like the glucose has to come and put its identity card on the sensor so the door can open and the glucose can go inside. And this sensor, the key to open this door is insulin. Insulin produced your pancreas will go and open the door so glucose can go inside. This happens in normal person. What happens in a diabetes patient is because of increased inflammation. I already explained what is inflammation is. This key got damaged, this lock got damaged, the sensors got damaged. In the technical term is insulin receptors got damaged, so that this insulin cannot come and open the door. What happens? The cell won't get glucose. You feel tired, and the glucose will remain in the blood, which high amount of glucose in the blood damages other organs. So what body will do? Body will misread like that your pancreas is not working properly because cells are not getting insulin. So the brain will force the pancreas to produce more, to work extra, which end up in damaging the pancreas. So it is a victim of the diabetes. Now, to change the diabetes by taking a medicine, you are not reversing the inflammation, you are not reversing the insulin resistance, you are simply making an alternative way which don't work longer. If you want to reverse the diabetes, the inflammation has to be removed, the insulin resistance has to be removed, which can be attained very easily with the help of lifestyle modification, because inflammation are basically triggered by your food, your sleep, your exercise, and your mind. And to add with diabetes, we think diabetes is the one which affects your body, but the Alzheimer's, which is now proven, is called as type 3 diabetes. The diabetes affecting your brain is Alzheimer's. The PCOD, many people are affected with the young ladies not getting periods, infertility, because the diabetes, the insulin resistance, which affects your ovaries. It is a major problem. It is a bigger problem which has to attend by the root, can be well done, very effectively done by naturopathy practices.
We have two very specific questions from Amitoj from Minar Group. First question is, can a boy 12 years old with cylindrical eyesight, wearing spectacles for reading and watching TV, laptop, etc. for last 4 years, ever get rid of specs in the next 6 years by naturopathy to be eligible to become a fighter pilot? It's a very specific question, yes. Maybe he can, I think he should be emailing this to you and, take it forward.
I think that is better. There are hope. The lens is protein. I say that lens is a protein which get damaged by your many problems. But it's a live protein, can be repaired with the help of nutrition and exercises, which he can hope in getting rid of that. I can help him.
So the second question he has,
we can start doing that. Later he can come and learn, which he can change the lifestyle in a better way, and he can attain that. It's not I can.
Okay, so Mr. Amitoj, if you're listening, please do reach out to Dr. Sijit for further on this. The second question he asks is, what should be the ideal diet in naturopathy for a vegetarian child, 12 to 14 years, playing cricket on a daily basis towards his goal to become a budding cricketer, fast bowler to represent India in the nationals?
I think more than me answering, I think you could go and watch the YouTube video of Virat Kohli on the changes that happened in his life after become vegan. So become a vegan, eating vegetarian food, have nothing there to prevent him from a national cricketer, which Virat Kohli himself certified. What he need only protein, what he need only fat, what he need only good nutrition, what he need only good vitamins, which he can get a better quality, good quality by eating vegan. Basically, I'm not a person who said that everyone should be vegan. Your natural eating instincts can be addressed. You can eat non-vegetarian in a healthy form again. But if he's a vegan, the thing to be, I add that many people come to say that I'm a pure vegan, I got disease. I say to them that being vegan and getting healthy has no connection. Being vegan and unhealthy have no connection. If you are vegan and eating unhealthy, you can be diseased than a non-vegetarian and eating healthy. So there is no such interrelation between health and become veganism and non-veganism also. So nothing, he can easily, he just eat healthy, eat more fruits and vegetables, add more fiber for the diet, eat healthy, more than eat healthy, live healthy. Anything can be attained, not only a national cricket.
So the next question from him is, and again a specific one, is there a treatment in naturopathy to cure pancreatic cancer stage 2, blood cancer stage 1, and lung cancer stage 1?
Such questions, specific questions are difficult to answer, but still, one of my senior doctor because he mentioned about pancreatic cancer, a naturopathy doctor in Karnataka affected with pancreatic cancer reversed it with a lifestyle modification. So, but it is not globally applicable, especially with cancer. Certain cancers, yes, certain cases, no. Certain people, yes, certain people, no. It's all depend upon how much body's vitality is remaining, how much change is required in your body, which we cannot say global yes or a universal yes or no. It depends from person to person. But there are many cases where a person living healthy with the help of naturopathy. And other thing, we had many patients came to us which they're undergoing chemotherapy and radiations, where people actually there are doctors who referred us to us, say that they can come here, get the lifestyle better, and which makes the impact or effect of the cancer treatment, the conventional treatment more beneficial or more effective. So they can do either way. They can change the lifestyle if they are not willing to a conventional medicine, or if you are taking a conventional medicine, you can adopt these lifestyle changes in their life, which helps the better result in the treatment they are taking.
So, okay, the next question is from Sun Travels. Does naturopathy help in varicose veins?
Yes.
It does.
Yes. It's a way that your blood is not working properly, your muscles are not working properly. So it helps. But again, from what if it is a chronic case with a lot of blood fluid and ulcers, it takes time, but it works. It helps.
Okay,
But it don't get reverse in few days. Don't think that when you come there it get reversed. It will need a longer practices.
Okay. The next was actually, it was written that Mr. Krishnan wanted to ask a question and he wanted to be unmuted. So I don't know if he's still online. Mr. Krishnan.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi, Krishnan.
Hi, George. Dr. Sijit, it was a very wonderful session. I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
There's only one question that I asked. What is going to be the people's look into our Ayurveda program post-COVID when we find a vaccine, when we become normal? What do you think people are going to go in, and what is going to be the most popular thing that people are going to look forward to?
I believe that should be like restoring the health. More than relying on symptom suppressing medicines, they should look forward for holistic health, because it is something like when you're taking a medicine, it's something like you're covering one border. Like if you are a country, imagine that you're a country, we are safeguarding one border and keeping other border open. When we are with a vaccine, when you stop corona, another another virus will come. When you stop that, the dengue will come. When that malaria comes. But as I explained, if your body become healthy, when the host infertility for the growth of virus, I don't have to worry about any such things. Ideally, people should look for holistic healing and holistic health post-COVID. If they get the learning, ideal, good from this COVID times.
Thank you, Sijit. Thank you so much. Hi, Shailu. Hi. I think Suresh, Jason, Beard, Tony. Hi. I am also seeing one of my very old friends, Chef Jose. Hello, Jose. How are you? I think he is on mute. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Dr.
because we
Sijit.
still have a lot of questions to go. So just, I don't know, we'd still finish it by 5:30, I guess. So the next question is from Rajesh Shenoy, which says, can you please brief us about a good lifestyle for adults, like minimum hours of sleep, duration of yoga or exercise, timing between meals? So I think about sleep, we have already discussed, exercise and timing between meals. Maybe this is something doctor can add on.
Okay. In naturopathy, there are something like Arogya Raksha Panchatantra. I just explained that there are five things you should do to make you healthy. One, eat only twice in a day. I think many people may take it as a surprise, but the intermittent fasting is gaining popularity. It became a hot cake throughout the world, which basically the concept is eating twice in a day. Two, do exercise at least for 40 minutes, ideally 1 hour in a day. Do some kind of meditation or prayer once in a day. Drink enough water depending upon the climatic conditions and the place you live, and fast once in a week. So these are the basic naturopathy concept. Why say fasting is, there is a mention about sleep there. So fasting in naturopathy, we don't say fasting is simply avoiding food. In naturopathy, fasting is complete rest, physical, physiological, mental, sensory, emotional rest, which will make body to go through a complete repair and servicing. So everything is required. So these are the 5 things you can take back. If you don't able to take fasting, because if you're a person not experienced in fasting, you need expert guidance. You can get admitted in naturopathy hospital, which help you to identify the way you can do it. There are different type of fasting, but you can do something like eat twice in a day, and or maximum thrice in a day. We are people eat 5 to 6 times in a day. Like drinking a tea, we think that tea is a liquid. No, tea is a food. It contains sugar, it contains milk, it contains chemicals. It's a food. So eat only twice in a day or a maximum thrice in a day. Do exercise once, give ample rest for the body, drink enough water. So that is enough.
The next question is from Shobha George, which says, does raw vegetables and fruit stored in fridge remain as live food?
No.
No. Okay.
So, but it is better than a processed food. So it's how your personal choices what you have.
Yes.
Always fresh is better. Always. So it's not a sudden change. It's a long journey where you can make micro behavior changes, micro changes. If you say a person having a processed food, shift to a fruit which you use in fridge. That is better than a processed food. So it's a lifestyle change, adaptation you have to make in your life.
Then the next is from Anita Jacob, which says, if a person whose body is prone to forming kidney stones can get rid of stones with naturopathy.
I'll say a story. I had actually I say in a flat in Ernakulam, one of the flatmate who stay nearby as my neighbor, lady came to me and said that she need to reduce her weight. So I gave her a diet which she strictly followed. Fortunately, she shifted to more raw food and other things for a time. And one night she had starting getting acute pain. Acute pain she cannot bear. The person who having a renal stone know that if you're getting a pain, it is a most unbearable pain. She got such a cut of pain. Her husband took her to a hospital, and it was identified that she had a renal stone. She already identified the renal stones earlier, but when she admitted there, it was a night. They were not able to do some scan. Next day morning, when they did, they said that renal stones were not there. So renal stones are basically because of acidic food. I have other patient experience also where the renal stones were removed from the body with the help of good dietary changes, but it cannot be easily achievable. You need a prolonged stick to lifestyle modification and that, but it is possible. Clinically, it is possible, because I have experience with patients who achieved that.
Okay, thank you. This question to Shailendran. Can we take some more, because we still are getting more questions coming in? So I think people are still waiting because they are waiting to hear to the replies.
One thing you can do, I think my phone number is already mentioned there. There's a WhatsApp number. They can send me a voicemail in my WhatsApp.
Okay.
This question is answered, which I can reply them as a voicemail, as a voice message to the queries. So everyone can share.
Is there a time limitation now that Shailendran, would you like to say if there's any time limit? So
no time limit. More the better. More the better. Keep on
okay, so then I'll just continue. For me, it's fine. As long as for Dr. Sujit, if it is okay with you, we'll just finish whatever we get in the.
a glass of water.
Okay, so the next one is from Sanjay Puri, which he was saying that you had already spoken about the exposure of sun and its benefit. So if one is interested in taking sunlight in the morning between 7 to 10 a.m., then what is the suggested duration?
20 minutes is ideally saying.
Okay.
Just expose your body maximum to it. More than wearing clothes. If you have a private place, expose your body maximum. 20 minutes is the ideal time if you're getting an early sun or a late sun.
Okay. Then the next is from Avijit. Again, it's a very specific kind of a question. Is there hope for autism in naturopathy?
Yes.
Okay.
Why I say yes is we have actually I have doctors who work specifically in autism. Okay, coming back to autism. Autism, even though it is considered as a neurological disorders, there are evidence are pouring from on research aspect from various parts in the world. It is basically a disease related with gut, your gut bacteria. If you have a good gut, leaky gut, you can just go and even search. Leaky gut is considered one of the problem related with autism. So if you have a good gut, when the gut health is improved, along with some other modalities in yoga and in the mind, autism, it's not that it is reversible. Basically, it's not that, but the life quality of the person improves a lot. Because in my internship time, I worked in a naturopathy autism hospital at that time before, where I've seen that amazing changes. And we had patients also which came to our clinic, which they had changes, but it need a long adherence to the rules. And actually, I love to help such kind of people, because it is a thing which they don't have any other modalities which help them, and they have very good scope to improve the quality of life. It's very simple lifestyle changes. Something like one of the thing I can immediately, I usually don't give tips in such webinars, because I actually always think that personal concern is required, but try to avoid wheat and milk for autistic kids. I have seen drastic improvement in their behavior within 2 to 3 weeks itself. Wheat and milk, even you give a biscuit, that is a wheat, remember, avoid milk and wheat, and add more fibers into the diet. You can give very good results.
Thank you. That's a very valuable input, because one of my friends' son has a very rare form of autism. So I know the pains that she goes through with the child, but she's such a loving mother. So we'll take the next question is from Sanjay Puri. Is there any cure in naturopathy for COPD patients, especially for seniors 75 years having very weak lungs and stays on oxygen concentrator for almost round the clock?
See, cure is a tough term there which you can use there, but there are a lot of tools, methodologies in naturopathy we can improve their quality of life. Their dependency, their symptoms, their difficulties, everything you can give a positive changes. A cure I cannot promise, but there are many methodologies. I say again, we had a lady from Switzerland of 73 years old, came to Prakriti Shakti, and she had a problem with breathing difficulties. And she stayed for 21 days. And the 20th day, I remember still, she was sitting with me in our Bodhi corner. There is a beautiful place in Prakriti where you can get good sun and light. In my last 70 years, it's the first time I'm feeling that breathing can be this easy. So, see, I didn't give any medicine there. It was just simple lifestyle changes, but we have good methodologies which they can learn. And it's again depending upon their age and everything, how much we can do in them. But we have good methodologies in naturopathy which help people to improve the quality of life affected with chronic pulmonary obstructive disorders, that is CPOD.
So then the next is from Tushar Bafna. Can disc prolapses and spinal injuries be reversed, cured, or only maintained through naturopathy?
It can be only maintained, but it can be, it's maintained means it's not that their physical disabilities will be remaining. The quality of life, the ability to walk will improve, their pain will reduce, the progression of the disease can be reversed, or the progression of disease can be checked. But a disc prolapse, it is difficult to get back to normal. But the disease progression is one of the basic problem with the disc prolapse. They have done a methodology to prevent the disease progression, which can be easily achieved. I don't say easily, but it can be achieved with the help of naturopathy and yogic techniques. Yoga plays a very important role in such cases. We use yoga therapeutically. We are the only system where we have a system to use yoga as a therapeutic protocol. We give yoga as a replacement for the medicines. So we can help them.
So here the next question is, it's actually a very generic one. It's from Vivek Angra, that in spite of that naturopathy is a science by itself, the Western world doesn't recognize it. So are there any scientific studies done to support naturopathy? Also, does Ayush have any plans to do more research on various aspects of the benefits of naturopathy?
There are more than 15,000 papers available on the scientific aspects of which we believes and which preaches. If you look into Nobel literature winning in last 4 years, previous they were won. The Nobel medicine was won by a scientist who worked on hypoxia, the physical benefits of hypoxia, which we simply say as pranayama. In 2016, the Nobel Prize was, I think in 2016 or 17, the Nobel Prize was won by I think 17 or 16 on the benefit of fasting in your body. In 17, it was won by a patient on the study on the impact of circadian rhythm in the body. So there are more than 15,000 researchers are available in that. My own research paper is published in a PubMed index journal on the benefit of Jalaneri. Jalaneri gaining a very important in because of its role in prevention of COVID. Jalaneri is a nose wash technique in yoga, which a paper researched in January in an international reputed journal on its benefit. Where if you practice Jalaneri, there was a video, I think it was available, where when some doctors do Jalanedi regularly, most of them, none of them got affected with COVID, but their workers don't do Jalanedi got affected. So there are a lot of researchers available. Only thing how to look into that area. Many things are available. Come to Ayush, every Ayush system have a central council for research in doing research. They're supporting a lot in that aspects.
Okay. So then we have next question is from Anita Jacob. A 24-year-old boy is suffering from epilepsy. He has been on medicine since around 15 years. Can he be treated through naturopathy? Again, a very specific question.
Specific question. Any such questions? I don't say no, but we need a consultation. Okay. We need to know what is condition. It's don't think like every time a disease is or a healing process is not that completely get rid of that. Is always is helping the body's ability to get into a better quality of life. In any most of the conditions that is possible, other than if an organ is removed, I say in naturopathy it is difficult. If it is you are chronically debilitated and with the help of a life supporting mission, helping with naturopathy is difficult. And other than that, if you have some congenital disorders, it is difficult. Other than that, there is a hope, but it's not that 100% cure or reversal. And in every such cases, we need an individual consultation. It may be a simple tip which they can do at home, but we may have something to offer to improve their life better.
Okay, so then the last and final question we'll take is just related on the earlier what we said about meals. When you said about having 2 meals, what should be the time between the 2 meals?
Time between 2 meals, the time between your last meal and next day breakfast, if ideally it should be 14 hours. That's I say. If you have a gap between 14 hours between 2 meals, this is known as intermittent fasting. What happens when you give a 14 hours of a gap? When you don't eat for a 14 hours, actually your body is deprived of nutrition, especially protein, which body requires for build-up of the cells. We are not providing that 14 hours, which it triggers a beautiful mechanism in the body, which is known as autophagy. Autophagy means self-killing of old, unwanted, extra foreign cells in your body. The 2016, as I mentioned earlier, Nobel Prize award for this study, for this discovery. When you don't provide protein for the body, don't provide nutrition for the body for 14 hours, body cleans itself, body remove an old cell. It may be a block in your heart. An extra cell may be a cancerous cell. A foreign cell may be an infection cell, like a COVID, anything. Body remove it if you give a intermittent fasting. If you give a intermittent fasting on a daily basis, it is something like you're cleaning a room every day. If you don't clean a room regularly, you have to, if you're cleaning only once in a month, then it's a heavy work, a hard work. But intermittent fasting is a cleansing of a body on a regular basis. If you can maintain a 14 hours gap between 2 meals, between your dinner and next day breakfast, nothing can match that in maintaining your health.
Wow. Okay, Dr. Sijit, I think that was a very informative and very lengthy session, but I think that is why it's become a very fantastic session. I mean, so many questions means people were actually very attentive and listening to everything that you were saying. And I think, what is naturopathy and everything that people had questions on what is it all about was answered by you beautifully. And our regional director, Mr. Srivat Sanjay is still on this, and he would like to say a thank you note to all of you all. 1 second, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was very interactive, very lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sanjay?
Yeah, hello, everybody. I think everybody must have gained a lot by this webinar because of all the useful information given by Dr. Fijit Sridhar from the CGH group. And at the same time, we are really grateful to the entire CGH group family, headed by Mr. George Dominic, Mr. Jose Dominic, and Mr. Siddharth Dominic. And Mr. Shalendra was also there, and many more members from the CGH group. They were all supporting this event. So that was really a wonderful thing. All the valuable information that we got from Dr. Fijit. And I think practicing all these things during Corona times would be really very useful for all of us. And besides the tourism aspect, which we are looking so that we bounce back once again with full colors. And I'm sure this particular webinar would pave the way for the wellness tourism. And at the same time, I would like to thank Sandhya, who did a wonderful job in coordinating this. And there would be many more webinars that we would be bringing for this wellness aspect, the Ayurveda aspect of Kerala, for which it is well known to the whole world. So look forward to see you again in the next webinar. And thanks, of course, all the audience who were there so patiently. And the very fact that it has extended beyond 1 hour, that itself shows the deep interest what the people have shown. And this gives us the confidence to do many more series. And Sandhya, please coordinate many more.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, all of you.
We just want to inform the audience, every viewer, that our next subject again today, which was already brought up by Dr. Sijit on lifestyle and how it affects PCOD. So our next subject is on PCOD and women gynecology issues through Ayurveda. So the subject is on Ayurveda. It will be presented by Dr. Shalini Girish, who's a physician and QC in Perumbayil Ayurveda Mana in Guruvayur. So we will let you know the date soon. It will be probably next week, but we will soon be informing our date. Watch out for social media posts and everything on the Tourism Updates group. We will be informing of the same. Thank you once again to all of you, Shailendran, Mr. Siddharth, George Dominic, sir, Dr. Sijit, and Mr. Salil, everybody who coordinated this wonderful webinar today. Thank you once again, and namaste.